Hello everyone! Today I wanted to talk about the two cadenzas in Liebestraum number 3. You know, the section where you see hundreds of these little notes that are smaller than the regular notes and that move really quickly. And sometimes students get intimidated by the look and the sound of it. So I wanted to break it down for you so that you understand what's going on musically and how you can think about that and practice them so that you can perform them successfully. If you're already playing it with not much problem, don't watch this video. I don't want to complicate things for you. It's okay not to play totally note perfectly. You just do your thing. If, however, you have practiced it, but you are always messing up, getting stuck, or maybe you're too overwhelmed even to just start learning it because it looks a little bit scary, then this video will definitely help you. By the way, if you need guidance on playing the whole piece, then please consider joining my workshop. In a live, interactive session, I will provide an overview of the piece to help you see the forest as well as break down the most difficult parts of the piece so you know exactly what to practice and how to practice them. You will not only take away ideas to make this piece sound better, but to improve your whole piano playing in general. If you want to elevate your Liebestraum number 3 beyond just tips and tricks, please check out the details in the description below. Okay, back to the cadenzas. So I'll talk about 3 main ideas and we'll take them to study each of the cadenzas. Idea number 1, whenever you face a cadenza that has many little notes, know that it's there to prolong a certain harmony. It's not meant to move the musical narrative forward. It lingers on a single chord while showing off some virtuosity. So it's a really good idea to know what this chord is. Raise your hand if you had thought about it before. Idea number 2, it's also a good idea to see how the notes are grouped. If it's not grouped on your edition, then make a group for yourself. There are hundreds of notes here. With anything that looks complicated, it's so much easier to learn and memorize when you figure out any kind of patterns or sequences. Number 3, you have to memorize the fingering. Don't try to wing it. The intention is to sound spontaneous, but not to be actually spontaneous. And a cadenza like this cannot be played without solid fingering and having it basically automatized. There are just too many times you don't learn things properly and you go on stage and under pressure, you never know what's going to happen. So something like this, I make sure I know my fingering, write it down, memorize them, and then be super rock solid. Okay, so let's talk about the first cadenza. Earlier I mentioned that a cadenza is there to prolong a certain harmony. So what harmony is Liszt holding on to? Well, it's that E-flat dominant ninth harmony. Everything that follows this to the end of the cadenza belongs to one of these notes. E-flat, G, B-flat, D-flat, and F-flat. That's an E-flat dominant ninth harmony. You don't have to be able to name what the chord is. You just have to be able to know, it's a group of these notes that make up this chord. Alright, so everything that follows, every single note, literally every single note, is a member of this chord. So why is this important? Well, I think it's important to know musically that you're being suspended on a single chord. But also, you know, like if something happens in a performance and your fingers get tangled up, at least you know, you can play that chord and not totally stop the flow of the music. And if you can't even remember this chord, then play some E-flats. So this long chain is all about embellishing the dominant. That's the first thing. Now the second thing was about groupings. In my Dover edition, the groupings are already done for you with slurs. They are grouped into 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? And so on. And the last one goes on longer. It's 12 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we can further further divided into groups of twos. After each group of two, I have to make a tiny shift. Another thing to notice is that the first one is tension, and then the second one is E flat major, the resolution. So tension, resolution, tension, resolution, tension, resolution. The three groups of twos make up a six, right? So again, I'm just gonna play from the second one. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. If you look at my movement carefully, I am doing down, up, down, up, down, up. I'm playing the first one on the down motion because these are connected. And then here I have to play on the up motion so that I can move to the next one. Right? So I hope you can see this down, up, down, up, down, up. It makes sense musically and technically. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is played with not just static movement horizontally across, but there is a down up motion that facilitates the shift to the next one. Down up, loosen up so that you can shift. Down up, loosen up so then you can shift. And then you practice this over and over again so it becomes really natural for you. Then you can think about the groups of sixes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like this. And about the fingering. Fingering, you have to be very consistent. So from the second one, I'm using 4, 2, 3, 1, 4, 1, 3, 2, 5, 2, 3, 1. And for the next octave up, I don't change the fingering. It's the same notes. Why should I? It's the same notes. Right? And then this one is a little different. And then 4, 2, 3, 1, 4, 2, 3, 1, 4, 2, 3, 1. That one is quite easy because there is the same fingering. And then the 5, 2, 3, 1, 5, 2, 3, 1, and then 4, 1, 3, 2. The point is not to totally copy my fingering, but know your fingering and your reasons for choosing that specific fingering. Cadenza, it says without pedal. I do little touches of pedal when I really need it. So here, no pedal, just overlapping legato. Super legato. So I hope Liszt does not get mad at me for using a little bit of pedal, just a little bit. Okay, let's go to the second cadenza. The second cadenza is also an embellishment of E flat dominant ninth harmony, whereas in the first cadenza it was a minor ninth that was added on top. In this one it's a major ninth, F natural instead of F flat. So it's just this harmony that gets suspended for all throughout these notes, and E flat, E flat, E flat keeps on getting emphasized. E flat, E flat, E flat, E flat. So if you get lost in the middle of all this, then come up with something like with arpeggiation on the E flat major ninth harmony, and you can kind of save yourself. The first part of this cadenza is a 2-octave chromatic scale coming down in thirds. So if I just play the top notes, That's all there is to it. With the thirds, it sounds like this. It's with the thirds, so it might be a really good idea to practice these in thirds. With the correct fingering. We know the harmony. The next thing to figure out is the grouping. Unfortunately, in my edition, I don't have those slurs or the groupings for this cadenza. So I have to come up with my own. I know that this is just a chromatic scale down for 2 octaves. So let me just divide it right in the middle. When that E comes back, that's the right in the middle. I know that there are 12 notes in a chromatic scale, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12 notes, plus another 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So those are 12 plus 12. But 12 is still too long. I'm going to divide it further into 7 plus 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why am I dividing this way? Why am I not doing this 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6? You can, and I'm not totally opposed to it, but I like the asymmetry of 7 plus 5 plus 7 plus 5 rather than 6 plus 6. I can probably play it 6 plus 6, even though I'm very, very used to playing it 7 plus 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so if I get used to it that way, then that's the way I will think about it every single time I play it. But since I'm thinking of it 7 plus 5 structure, that's the rhythmic pattern that I am latching onto. I'm internalizing that pattern, 7 plus 5, 7 plus 5. And there's another reason to it. It's about the fingering. I'm using 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 4, and then it's again 5, 4, 5, 4, 4. 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 4. So every time the landmarks, the E, A, they're all with my 5th finger. So 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 4. So I'm kind of tying my fingering into the groupings and where the black keys and the white keys are. They're all interrelated, and my decision on using any kind of fingering has to do with how I'm grouping them and also where the black keys and where the white keys are. For the left hand also, I'm using just 3, 4, 3, 4, unless there is 2 consecutive white notes. In that case, I'm using 5. So I don't know why I like using thumb here, but I just got used to it. So I start with a 1, and then 3, 4, and then there is another black key, so I'm using my 5th finger. 5, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5. C to B, so that's another 2 consecutive white notes. So I'm using 4 and 5. 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 3, and then that's the end of it. I'm going to exaggerate a little bit for you so you hear. So if I just play it more naturally, it's very subtle, but I am definitely feeling it and thinking it and being conscious of my fingers as I'm playing it. So the most important thing is not that you use exactly this fingering, but make a fingering that you can stay consistent with, that makes the most sense to you. You can hear the rhythm of it, right? 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 4, 5 4 5 4 4, 5 4 5 4 5 4 4, 5 4 5 4 4. So if I somehow get lost somewhere in there, oh, I know the next landmark is A, and that starts with a 5. And then another 5. Right, so I already talked about my fingering and the grouping. The next part of the cadenza is not so hard. You just have to keep moving. You're always on the move to the left side of the keyboard. And the left hand is completely out of the way of the right hand. Super high. I think you can see it. I guess you can play the other way around where your right hand is high. Either way works. Just choose which one you're more comfortable with. Remember two things. Or you're always on the move. And the second thing is to get out of the way of the other hand. One is very low and one is very high. That's it. Okay, we talked about 3 main ideas and apply these to 2 of the cadenzas in the Liebestraum number 3. The first idea was about the harmony. A cadenza is a prolongation of a certain harmony, usually the dominant harmony. Number 2 was about grouping. If you don't see any obvious patterns or slurs that organize notes into nice groups, then you create some for yourself. By doing that, you are creating a rhythmic pattern that you will get used to and that which will help you become more solid in executing a long chain of notes. Number 3 was about your fingering. Make your fingering decision based on how you group the notes and vice versa too, right? Like you make decisions about how to group notes based on how you must, sometimes you have to use a certain fingering, right? So grouping notes and how you finger the notes, they may be interrelated. And I hope that you can go beyond this particular piece and apply these ideas to other places where you see hundreds of notes squished into just a couple of bars. That's it for today. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.